Oh, hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to another video working on this guy here. That's our F-15 148 scale by Great Wall Hobbies. He just caught me cleaning my airbrush here, so we'll get the intro going and we'll get started, okay? Well, welcome back guys. We are gonna get started on this in just a moment here. I'm just cleaning up my airbrush needle and yeah, I just finished painting some missiles, and so that's what you caught me doing here. We'll get going in a moment after I just finish cleaning this up and get this stuff put away, and we can get started, okay? Obviously you can tell I'm working on the ordnance here that are missiles for the plane. I got just finished doing some white painting on them. Here's the AIM-9X right there. Two of them come in the kit. So I just painted them white, so I got some more painting to do on those, but we're not focusing on the missiles today. That's not what we're focusing on. So I've got the AMRAAMs, the AIM-120s. They're already painted, the body. I painted them with the some Tamiya, what do they call it? Light ghost gray. That's the color I painted these. And so yeah, and I just painted the tips white like they are on the AMRAAMs. So I'm just going to let those dry and put them aside, because we're not working on missiles today. We're not working on missiles. Today we have our F-15 here. I've taken off all the masking tape around the cockpit there, and so I think it's time we finally give our bird some wheels, okay, so that we can actually sit on her feet instead of on her belly. So let me get to the instructions, and we're gonna have to kind of flip around a little bit to see what step the wheels were on as far as. Here we go. We start with our front. Okay, so we already assembled all the landing gear pieces. So that's already done, right? We did that a long time ago now. So we flip over, and now we're going to actually put them on the actual plane. Actually, yeah. So I'll change the camera, and we can get started on this, okay? All right. So even though the wings are all nicely glued in, I still want to be careful because of these little pins that stick off the wings. Putting it down like this is going to bend them. So got to be a little bit careful. Maybe get yourself a couple of cans of spray paint. I've got this one that can sit in there like that. Perfect, yeah. And then we'll get another one for the nose. Whoops, 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 whoops. One for the nose here. And she can kind of sit like this. Careful there. Yeah, that'll work. Because we got a couple of things up at the front here, these stick out, so you got to be careful, especially this guy. I'm surprised I have not broken this off yet. Yeah, it's a miracle that has stayed as long as it has. Okay. I still have masking tape in my wheel wells. Wheel wells? Is it a car? No, it's not a car. So, landing gear bays, that's what they're called. So let's get my masking tape out of here now. It's been in here for a while now. Go. There's our main landing gear bay. Is it the main? Which ones do they call the mains? Is the front one the main? I don't know anymore. reveal our nice white base. If I can get my tweezers in there. There we go. There we go. There's one. I'll get the other one out here. I think you did a good job masking if it's actually a little bit difficult to remove the tape. Come on. There we go. One more piece, I think. Yep, there we go. Okay, so those are all exposed now. We can start on this. Okay, back to our supports. All right, so we have our main gear, which is right here, this guy here, and we got to get our two doors. So one door they want actually closed and the other one open. So let's grab those off of the sprue. I have them already painted. This is off of the C sprue, the C tree, number 28 and number 16. 16 and 28. I already have them painted. So let's get these off of here. There's one. And two. Alrighty. So I gotta make sure that my nubs are clean so that I get a good fitment. It's nice they put the nub here. Now what's kind of strange here, I think they've designed this so that it's supposed to be out like this, yet they have this, because they have this little tab on it. There's a little tab there, see that tab? This one I believe broke off. But if they want it closed, then I've got to trim these tabs off. As they show in the diagram, we're supposed to cut the tabs off and lay it flat. Put it closed. So I guess the fact that one tab is broken off, that's to my advantage, I suppose. So we'll just trim this one off. Doink. I don't know why my camera's shaking. Is there an earthquake going on here? Okay. I'm going to do a test fit here just to be sure. And he's going to lay in place. Yep, perfect. Okay. It's going to be good, but you got to do this after you put the gear in. Okay. Now we have this piece. It's got a couple little tabs. This one. And this one here. Alright. and he's going to hook in at the back here. Okay. All right. The first thing we've got to do is put the actual gear in. He's going to go in this direction. Obviously your lights face forward. And just 2 holes for 2 tabs to fit in there. Fits in nice and solid. That's good. Okay, so I'll get some glue. Glue, glue, glue. Glue on this peg. Glue on this peg. And down in there. Just like that. And that's done. Ta-da! Okay. Now this guy goes in. Get him lined up. Let's just do this. Like that. Alright. So he's in. And so I'll get some extra thin. Kind of do the corners a little bit here. And let the extra thin do its little capillary action there. There we go. Okay. Now, I regret doing this. This should have been done first. Maybe. No. Because it's got that pin. It's got this little pin sticking out here. And that's got to line up with that little hole. So if you had put this in first, you'd have a heck of a time. So I'm going to put some glue on our little tabs here. Where they meet inside. Get that lined up in there ever so carefully. And that's where that sits. So I'm going to use a little extra thin on our little tab there. Right there. Glue that there. Okay. And that seems to be it. My arms seem to be touching the base of this, so I'm just gonna take advantage of that and put some glue on there. So they're actually glued to the shaft of the landing gear also. And that's it for our front. So our rear has a few more little panels. So it looks like they want us to break the tabs off of all of these also. And I don't know why, because they should be open, especially these ones, the C316s. Those should be open. These ones not necessarily. These should be open too, I would think. Anyway, let's grab our gear. It's these two. This guy and this guy. Okay. Now it's going to be pretty hard to get these backwards because you've got this little fat peg that goes in and they're definitely lefts and right. If I put the wheels in the same way, these are definitely lefts and rights, right? So this tells me this wheel goes on this side and this goes back here like this. So we'll see how she fits. She fits pretty good. Pretty solid fit. I'm just going to change my angle so I can see what I'm doing. Let's see, check this one out here. It's a kind of, yeah, it's a kind of fit where it's a little tight, and if I put glue on the peg, it's going to slide in nice. So, let's get some glue on it. My glue is getting to a point in the bottle that if I don't put the lid down all the way, I don't really get a lot of glue on my brush. Okay. Go in your new home. And there you are. Are you all the way down? Let's pull this out. I want to be able to pick this up and get a good look at it. I don't think we're all the way down. We're close, but not all the way. There we go. Okay. Now this one. Glue on the peg. Glue on the front peg. And that one went in nice. Just gonna make sure it's all the way. There we go. That one went in a little bit easier. There we go. Our bird has feet. Our bird has feet finally. All right, and I have coffee. All right, so we got our doors. I have them sitting over here. I have them all taped together for painting purposes. So it's pretty easy to figure out which side goes on what. So that's obviously for this side. And then I have this one over here also. Had them all taped together for painting. And obviously these guys go on this side. So let's deal with our inner ones first. Okay, that's going to be this guy here. So let's get him off. Get him off. Ew. He's going to go here. Our two little tabs are going to line up in these little slots here. And he's just going to sit upright, straight up and down like that. Okay. They've added a little detail here. It looks like there would be a little hydraulic shock maybe that would go there, but they don't have any detail for it. So, and there's nothing in the instructions telling us to put in any kind of hydraulics. So, yeah, so that's that. So let's put a little glue on this side of our tabs where it's going to connect. And we'll go a little bit on the edge too. In between there. Like this. And line them up. Just like that. He's supposed to sit straight up and down. I'm just going to move it here so I get a good angle and make sure it is straight up and down, and it is good. So that's that one. Now we have these. Let's get this off of my alligator clip. So the instructions tell you to cut the tabs off and put these in closed, which is, you know, it's a little weird. I don't know I think they do that when the plane, I'm not sure why they want them displayed closed. Like, why put all that detail in there if you're just going to close it up? You know what I mean? If this is just going to sit in here closed, why have that detail? That just seems a little weird to me. I can do it, it's not that big of a deal. So, sure, why not? Let's do it. I'll follow the instructions. Cut off the tabs. Clean up the nubs. Of course, cutting off the tabs, you got this little notch where the tabs are sitting in. So you gotta make that, clean out that little notch. Like this. Otherwise, it's not gonna sit in the channel properly. And of course, it makes it painting the underside of this. Now I can see that we really don't have much detail here. You can see there's a little bit of rivet detail along here. A little bit of line of rivets there. But really not a lot of detail. So maybe that's why they didn't put a lot of detail, because it's supposed to be closed. That could be why. Okay, so we'll put this guy down. Just like that. It's not a... Oh, it is a good fit. Fits good, actually. Okay, rather than the extra thin, I'm just going to put a little glue on the inside railing here. That. Of course, I put it on this edge, which does me no good right now. Because this is the edge that has to have some glue. There we go. Okay, so he's in, but not quite at this side. There we go. Okay, he's in flush. Now we'll deal with this guy. His nubs were along this edge, which I'm hoping is going to be hidden. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera because I don't want to hit my plane. And he's going to go down in there, so I'm going to put some glue on him. A couple edges of him. This one's going to be a little bit trickier. As you can see, it's a little bit trickier to get him in. I'm going to do this one first on the other side. But he's in. There we go. Okay. There's one side. Alright, let's get these ones. In hindsight, if I'd known I was just going to be putting these in the way, you know, as closed, I would have glued them in right at the beginning, even before painting, and that way the painting and weathering would be done exactly the same as the rest of it. I didn't bother really weathering these. Shapely salve. Best fears on stream brew. That's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the knowledge. Trim my tabs off here. That one. And on this guy. Okay. Clean this up. Okay, so glue on this edge, and we'll go glue on this edge. And get this guy in shape here. Get the hair off of him. Okay, he's in. Next, we're going to clean up our little tabs here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I can barely see what I'm doing here. Where the nubs connected on this, we've got to clean them out of this little groove, this little slot that's on the edge. Just kind of cut away at it with my knife. Kind of carve them out so that it's nice and clean and flat along this little edge. Okay, I think that'll do it. Let's make sure this is flat. All right. Put some glue along this long edge here. There we go. And he goes in like this. It's a nice fit. I'm actually impressed into how they fit. Obviously they designed the holes. You know, there's a lot of kits out there where the landing gear bay doors are not designed to be closed. And so if you decide, hey, I want to display it in flight, you got to do a lot to get it to actually look half decent when it's when the doors are closed. Finally, we have this guy. He doesn't want to go into his home. Just going to turn this around so I can see and make sure it's lined up. There we go. And it should be straight up and down, and it is, and there we go. Now, one thing I like to do, now that this has had a moment to kind of dry a little bit, get in there with some extra thin and just secure it a little more. Just to make sure it's going to stay. Okay, So with that all done, that's all finished now. So we flip the page, and flipping the page we see them showing you how to do it if you want to do your bay doors all closed completely and have your landing gear up. Okay, which is pretty much the same process except for 2 flaps, or 3, total of 3 flaps. That's really the only difference. But now we have our aviation bay doors. So I'll put those on too, and then we'll call it a day because we're going to let this all dry. So we've got our aviation doors, and obviously I am displaying this thing with the doors open, and I have my doors here. Okay, here's one, and here's the other one. Okay, so I'll turn this guy back around so the bay door is actually on camera. Okay, aviation doors are right here. Okay, almost off camera, right? Let's just move them down a little bit. Let's do this. Okay, doors are going to go on here. But I need to get the little shocks. They are C13 and 14. And look at this, we even got the plane upside down just like in the picture. So C, I've got to find my C tree. Whoops, careful. C tree, where is my C tree? I think that's where I just pulled the parts off of. Yep, C tree. I'm going to do number 13 first. Where are you? 13. Right here. These guys, I failed to paint them. They are not pre-painted, so what color are they supposed to be? Let's see. Steel and chrome. Okay, so I'm going to call these ones light gunmetal. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to move the plane out of the way for now, just so I can paint these guys. Okay. Gunmetal is a good color for steel. So we'll just do this. This will only take a minute. Paint this part steel. There we go. Okay. Okay, there's that. And then the actual technical terms, they call it a ram. That's the part of the rod that actually goes inside the cylinder. And those are always chrome. They're all super highly polished. And so to do that, I gotta use my Molotov chrome. On that. Okay, those are done. One last cleaning of the brush. Okay. All right. So, with these painted, going to take number 13 off of here, and that's this guy. Okay, 13. And you see how quickly I'm doing this? The paint is dry. The Tamiya paint is already dry. The Molotow, however, is not going to be dry yet. That's normal for Molotow. Molotow takes a long time to cure. I'm going to take number 14 off, but I'm just going to leave him off to the side here. Okay, 14, we're going to go over here with you. Okay, all right. Put that aside. Okay, where did 13 go? 13 disappeared. 13 decided to go on the floor. Don't know why, but 13 wanted to go somewhere else. Okay, so bring our plane back. Bring her back into the spotlight. Okay. Bring everything back into focus here on camera. Okay. So we got to find the side that's supposed to go, and that's going to be this guy here. Okay. If I turn the plane and show you, okay, it's supposed to go like that. Okay. Except we're going to have it tapped in, and it's going to be sticking up. Okay. There's a little hole right there, and that's where the shock is going to go into on there, on the plane. And then it's going to go in right here, or let me see, yep, right there. Okay. Now which direction goes, we've got to look at the instructions. Looks like the fatter end, the end that's painted silver, or the steel, gunmetal, that's going to go towards the door, and the chrome part is going to go towards the plane. Now this might be a little difficult to get it to actually glue in and hold when it's at this particular angle. My nubs don't look very nice on here, so I want to clean them up. Unfortunately, cleaning up the nubs means touching the Molotow chrome. I don't really want to do that, but I don't have much choice. And then my nub on this end doesn't look good either. A little better. Okay. So this is going to go in there. Let's see if she'll hold on her own. A little bit of glue on the tip. Sticker in the hole. Now a little glue on these tabs. Maybe on here too. And a little glue on the tip. And she's holding. Nice. I'm going to get my extra thin quick set, the light green, and I'm going to put it along the inside and kind of hold it for a sec. That's perfect. I just want to throw on there too. All right, that worked out good. Oh, hey, where are you going? Just as I said, it worked out good. She fell apart. This is where it's actually going to be better to turn the plane over and let gravity do its thing. Gravity's going to want to hold it out. Gravity's going to want to close it down, but the rod's going to hold it. So I think my wheels have had a chance to actually dry enough that I could potentially just put it down on its wheels now. There we go. Hey, and she doesn't sit on her butt. You know, there's a lot of planes out there, a lot of models that you put the landing gear down and the plane sits down and it sits down, it just wants to sit on its butt. And you have to add weight to the nose. The F-15, I've not built an F-15 that wants to do that, so that's good. This should be dry enough now, in theory, that I could tip it back over and do the other side. Should be. We're going to test it. Okay, we're going to test it. I know this is dangerous, but we're going to test it. Grab our other one here. Actually, I'm going to leave it on its feet for now, just so that I can clean up the nubs on this particular shock. Because I did a terrible job at it. I shouldn't have painted it on the sprue. I should have painted it after I took it off the sprue. But you know, hindsight being 2020, that's just the way it is. Okay. All right, I think we're ready to tackle this side. We'll see if this side falls apart on me. Hopefully this side stays together while I'm doing this. Okay. First things first was putting a little bit of glue on this tip. Get my tweezers. And putting it into this hole. Okay, I'm just going to make sure my alignment here is good first. It's close, but not quite. So it's got to go, it's supposed to go into this little slot here. And it doesn't quite line up, although it's okay. Yeah, okay, we're good. So, glue on here. Here. across there. And right there. Just hold this for a minute. Oh, we're coming apart. It'd be nice if it stopped coming apart on me. Trying to use gravity to do this also. But I think we got it. Okay, there's our 2 bay doors. And that is where I'm going to call it a day. We're going to let those dry. Let that all cure and be done, just like that. All right, guys, that's going to be it. This is where I'm going to end it for today. I've got to let that all dry and harden and cure and all those different words that they use for, you know, letting your glue dry. Yes, many big words. What I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to do all the decals for my missiles. That's all these guys here that I have laid out. My initial thought was I'm not going to put all 3 fuel tanks on this particular one. I was just going to do the one in the center. That was my initial thought. I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to put all 3 on. I've got all 3 on my Tamiya bird. I've got all 3 on my F-15E. I think maybe this one I just want to do a little different and only have the one fuel tank, and then have the wings just with the missiles, and that's it. I think that's what I'm going to do. There's a little bit lighter load on this one, this kind of thing. Lighter load out, you know. Maybe it doesn't have to go that far on this particular mission, so it doesn't need all 3. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, you all have fine detail work there. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but it is worth it in the end. So, in the meantime, guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank you for the comments. I've seen a couple of new comments on my other videos, and I really appreciate that. It's really cool stuff. Guy talking about the ejection seat belts and stuff like that. I actually didn't know that particular news about how the shoulder belts that come down, they're not really tight against the pilot, but he's really only being held in by his lap belts. That's new to me. I don't know how accurate it is because I have no proof. Anyway, I am still waiting for my ejection seat to come from Amazon. I think it was coming from a vendor in China, and that's why it's taking so long, and that's why I don't have it yet. But yeah, anyway, so we're still waiting. So thanks again, guys, and that's where we're going to leave it for today, and we'll see you all in the next one.